Alright. So let's do this, man. Alright, so I had a friend of mine just kind of messaged me, said, want to see some settings. I've had multiple people kind of message me, and they want to see some settings about the game. So before I actually go into this game, let me get out of this. Before we actually get into the game, who's this guy? Install update. Madden. Oh man, dude. I guess we're updating Madden right now. Before we actually get into the settings, I'm gonna show you guys just a few things that I do to try to get the most of my PC. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not the smartest when it comes to updating settings, but I'm gonna show you what I do. So when I first got this computer, just little things that I do to get the most of my computer, and I don't like doing too much where I ruin everything. So the first thing I do is I right click, I go to NVIDIA control panel, and you gotta make sure all your drivers are already up to date. Yeah, I know I'm updating Madden, I saw that, man. So I bring up my control panel, and then pretty much what I do is I'll go into the manage 3D settings here. There's a couple things that I'll alter here. So the first thing I do when I go down is I make sure, let me find it here. I make sure I go right here to power management mode and prefer maximum performance. Now, if you're on a laptop that's not plugged in, I don't recommend this. Optimal power is gonna be a little better, but I don't think that's the case for most of you guys. So if you're playing, put on prefer maximum performance. The next one, as I go down, is vertical sync. I turn vertical sync off. I don't think vertical sync is actually good, so I turn this guy completely off. That's really the two things. There's a couple other things that you can do in there. Those are the two main things that I do to get the most of my my computer. As we open up this little bad boy, you can right click. Now I don't know if I have any settings in here. Let me go to my game library. Right click, game properties, advanced launch options. Okay, so I have dash FPS underscore max space 0. So that just kind of like opens up my my frames. There are some other things you can put in there. When I put in other things, it makes my game act a little wonky and weird. Sometimes it crashes more. So this has been what I found to do the best for me. So I just put that in there. So as I open this up, and I'll show you guys my stream settings as well here. But let's open up Apex. Let's first get this all set up first. All right. Now I'm gonna make this into a YouTube video for you guys as well, so just hang on. So you can put like a little command in the thing where it doesn't show like the intro, but when I have that, it doesn't work. It's crazy how different. Like I have a 244 hertz monitor, and I see that more of the mouse spinning around, but I see it when I see it on stream, it doesn't show it. So and when I go to my settings here, what I do, and I'm just gonna go over here to video. I run borderless window because I'm on, I have two monitors. I want to be able to click over like this and not ruin anything, and have it like up and down where it increases the chances of it crashing. So that's the first thing that I do. The second thing is I run 1920 by 1080. That's your native. You want to run your native resolution. That's what you want to run. Okay. Outside of that, my brightness is 50. My field of view I max out. These are more like preference things. It's just what I like. Sprint I want minimal. I don't want there to be a lot of shaking going on. As I go down, VSync turned off. I go down more. Anti-aliasing I'm gonna put on TSAA. When it comes to this here, you gotta match what your RAM is. So or what your GPU is. So find out what your GPU is and put this on here. I don't have mine at 8 gigabytes because mine's a 6 gigabyte 2080 Ti. You want to find exactly what yours is and put it on there. I think that's gonna be the best. If you're running a lower end PC, of course, put it down a little bit. Since I have a 2080, just tell you I have a 2080 Ti, I have an i9 9900K, and 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have a tank for a computer, and this is my main computer. I stream off my same computer currently. So this is what I do. So I got the 6 gigabyte there, texture by linear, ambient occlusion. I put it on disabled, low, and a lot of these things there's not necessarily to just increase to create the to get faster frames, but a lot of it's also just simply for just better experience when I'm playing. That way I can see certain shit. So I put this down disabled. They don't need a lot of these like little things. I put the model detail on high because as I want to see these legends, I want to see them a little bit better. You can spot them a little easier doing that. So that's why I put that on high, and then everything else goes back on low. So effects detail, you can lower that. Like that's explosions. I don't need to have cool effects while I'm playing a game, so I put that on low. Impact marks, I don't really care to see unless you're trying to trace like the bullet spread. I don't really care for that. When it goes to ragdolls, again, don't really care for a lot of that, so that's all on low. So this is what I do with my Apex stuff. So outside of my Apex stuff, I come over to this little guy. Okay, I'm gonna show you this little setting here. And we're gonna open up here. What I'll do is I think I can drag this over. Yeah, you can see my settings here on my Twitch. So this is my Twitch settings. I use Streamlabs OBS. I think Streamlabs OBS is better than regular OBS. At least what I find on my computer. I'm always looking down at the bottom of my my Streamlabs. Oops. I'm always looking at the bottom of my Streamlabs and trying to see like, where my CPU percentage is at, my frames, all this kind of stuff, my bit rate. You want to find what's best for you. So this is the best thing that I've done. So to go through my settings, general, it's pretty simple. I don't really touch anything in there. Stream, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to. I put auto on there. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to whatever is closest to you. Then when it goes to your output, with your output, as I go down to my output here, you get CBR bitrate 2500. I used to run bitrate 3500. The higher bitrate, the faster your internet needs to be. But I found out when I was running higher bitrate, it was actually affecting my stream for viewers. So I put it on 2500, and that's been working phenomenal. Outside of that, profile high, and then 2 frames, max B 2 frames. Okay, so this is what I got for here. So you go down to recording. I don't record while I game. Unless I'm recording and not streaming. I'm not going to do both at the same time. I don't think there's a reason for that unless you have a separate PC and you're not partnered. I can get everything through my rebroadcasts and it's decent quality. It's not going to be as clear quality as like my shadow play, but there's no reason to record. Okay. So as you go down, this is just audio stuff. You don't really need any of that. As I go into the actual audio, that's what we have there. Again, this isn't really affecting anything. Video, here's where a lot of people make mistakes when it comes to streaming, is they'll have their base canvas and their output different. Okay, now as you see, I kind of have it a little bit different because it's fine. But what I mean is like, so if you have, so I'm streaming in 1920, 2080 Ti. I have a really good computer. I can do this. When you have these different, what happens is your CPU actually uses more power to be able to change that resolution. So if you don't have a good computer, keep that the same. Put it on 2080, 720, 2080, 720. I have a really good computer, so I'm going to put my base canvas is at 28. Actually, you know what I could do? I could put my base canvas at 1920 by 1080. I don't know why I have it at 1280. The base canvas is going to be this. It's just going to be the background of this guy. And then your output resolution. This is what everybody gets to see. So I want to be streaming in, and I believe if you click my stream, it'll say that. Yeah. So I want to be streaming in 1920 by 1080. So that's what I stream in. So that way you guys get the 1920 by 1080. But then you guys get it at I put it at 30 frames. You could do 60. I think if you're only doing 60, you should do it on a separate computer, running on the same computer. Like I said, I have a good computer, but when I put it on 60 because of Apex, I notice it actually affects my stream. I lose a lot of frames. So 30 frames, just keep it at that. Keep this thing at what you got here, by cubic, all that stuff. As I go down, advanced. Now, if your stream is affecting, if your game's affecting, keep this on normal. If your stream is being affected, then you can always change this to high. This is just priority. What this is when when it comes to your computer worrying about what to put more focus on first. If you put this to high, it's going to worry about your OBS first and then your game second. I just keep it normal. I don't really think you really need to change too much of it, so I just keep it where it's at. Stream delay, if you guys want to do any of that, I'll make a reconnect. These aren't really things that I touch. I don't really touch anything on there. Other than that, that's literally everything. That's everything that I do on there. So I come over here, I go to my stream, my output. I'm not sure if the guy's in the stream right now that was asking the questions. If he is, say something. I use NVENC. So hardware NVENC. And I believe it'll say NVENC new. If you have a 2080 Ti, or you have a really good like a 1080 Ti or something like that, try out the new NVENC and see how that works. A lot of the games out there now are CPU based games, and I think he told me that he was using he was using a CPU for it. A lot of games out there now are CPU based games primarily. So since I have a good GPU, is I kind of put that on my streams. My streams my OBS is being run off my GPU, especially since I have a really good GPU. I'd rather my CPU have more power. you know. And then especially since I'm lowering all my settings in Apex anyways, it really doesn't make much of a difference, you know. And then like I said, 250 high, max B frames. And then yeah, that's everything. That's everything, guys. There are a few things, like I said, that you can do within the game. Like the NVIDIA control panel, you can go there, and there's other things that you can look up and change. I don't like messing with that stuff too much because my knowledge of it is limited. But this is just stuff that I've done, so hopefully that helps, guys. I'm gonna cap that at a video for YouTube, and that'll be up on YouTube later tonight.